Hi everyone! Today we're learning to play Ancient Avenue. The game was published by NerdLab Games and designed by me, Kudahl, and my wife, Kudahl. There are various ways of playing Ancient Avenue. It can be played in a 2-player mode or in a team variant for 3 or 4 players. Today we're just learning the 2-player mode. It can also be played in a simple or advanced mode, and today we're just learning the simple mode. The game comes with a board, 2 meeples, a set of black market cards and a set of agent cards, as well as 2 player aids. The black market cards are not used in the simple mode, so we'll set those aside for today. To set up the game, put out the board with this side up. Each player chooses a color, so we'll be blue and put our meeple on the blue starting space, and our opponent will be green and put their meeple on the green starting space. Each player draws a hand of 4 cards, and you choose a starting player. During the game, you'll be moving your meeples around this map, and what you're trying to do in the game is to have the meeple of your color catch the meeple of the opponent's color before they catch you. To take a turn, you play 2 cards from your hand, one of them face up and the other one face down. And our opponent now gets to choose one of them to play in front of them, and we get the other one. So do they want this card, which will move them 1 space, or do they want something else, which could be really good or could be really bad? Okay, let's say they take this one. And that means we get the other one. So we have 1 enforcer, so we look at the top icon here, which is a 1, that says we move our meeple 1 space. Our opponent, this is their first sentinel they get, so they move 0 spaces, but if the next one they get, they could move 2 spaces, and the third one, or 4th or 5th, if they're so lucky, they will move 6 spaces for each of those. So it's not a bad start for them either. As soon as we have less than 4 cards, we draw back up to 4. So now it's our opponent's turn, and they're gonna play 2 cards, 1 face up and 1 face down. So let's say they play these 2 cards and this one face up. As soon as they play 2 cards, they draw back up to 4. And we now get to pick what do we want here. So the sentinel is no moves for us because we have only 1 of them, but if our opponent gets it, they get the second icon, which means they move 2 spaces. So it's kind of annoying, but they might expect us to take that one, so they might put something more juicy here. So let's try taking this one. And another enforcer, alright. And they get the sentinel. So since we now have 2 enforcers, we move 2 spaces. And our opponent gets their second sentinel, which means they move 2 spaces. So now it's back to our turn, and we're about to play 2 cards. Some things to be aware of is you're not allowed to play 2 of the same card on your turn. They need to have different names. And if you don't like your hand before you play, you can discard cards face down in front of you. So let's say we don't want to play the sentinel because our opponent already has 2. So we put that face down and draw a new one. And we can do that any number of times in a turn, but only 4 times during the total of the game. So as soon as we have 4 cards face down in front of us here, we cannot do it anymore. Let's say we also discard this double agent, and maybe we'll keep our last 2 discards for later. So let's take a look at a different card. Let's look at this code breaker. You can see it has 0, 0, and then this golden check mark. The golden check mark means you win the game. So the code breaker doesn't move you on the board ever, but if you get 3 of them, you actually win the game. So let's try playing that with a face down card. As soon as we have less than 4 cards, we draw back up to 4. And our opponent now has to either take this code breaker or take the other one. And let's say they take the other one here. Oof, it's another sentinel, maybe not the smartest player of us. So they now have 3 of those. And we get the code breaker, so we don't move at all with the code breaker, but they move 6 spaces with the sentinel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're quite close to catching us. Alright, let's take a few more turns and see how the game goes. Okay, our opponent's turn to play. They play a card face up and 1 face down and draw 2. Now this card, the Daredevil, they move 2 spaces when they get their first one, and they move 3 spaces when they get the second one. When you get your third one, there's this black cross, and that means you lose the game. So it's a card that can move you quite far ahead in the short term, but it's quite risky as well. Okay, so looking at the board, our opponent is just 2 spaces away from us. So if the face down card would not move us at all, we lose the game. So let's take this Daredevil just to be safe. And let's see what they gave themselves. Oh, a Saboteur. A Saboteur has negative numbers. That means you move backwards. So they really were betting on us to take the face down cards here, which didn't work out. So they get the Saboteur, so they move back 1 space. And we get the Daredevil, so we move forward 2 spaces. Okay, so now it's our turn. And let's try this double agent and a Saboteur. Okay, our opponent here, the double agent, it gives them -point now. It could give them 6 points after, but they don't want that, so they'll take the face down one. Oh no, a Saboteur. They get the Saboteur, and we get the double agent, so it means we move back 1 from the double agent, and they move back 1 from getting their second Saboteur. Alright, it's our opponent's turn. They play 2 cards, 1 face up, 1 face down, and draw back up. Ooh, they are teasing us here with a code breaker. We really want that, because then we have 2, and if we get a third one, we win the game. So they might have something very strong for themselves here, but let's take the code breaker. I mean, if they have another Sentinel, they will catch us and win the game, so we're betting on that that's not the case. Oh, and it was. Alright. So they get the Sentinel. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get our code breaker plan to succeed. They move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means they've caught us, they've unmasked our secret identity, and won the game. So notice this last icon on the Sentinel, it triggers when you get your third one, but it also triggers if you get your 4th or 5th one, and so on. Alright, so that's what a game looks like, that's how you play. You can see more in the rules on how to play the team variant and with the black market cards. Thanks for watching.